Hello. My name is Matt. One of the things I've learned in business over the last 15 years since I started my first company is just worry about the things that you can control. And so as you're up here scrambling and I'm figuring out if I'm going to have a deck or not, worry about the things you can control. And that has certainly served me well. My background is a tech entrepreneur. So I have built startups, technology companies. And so that is really what I know well. I'm new to the inspection industry over the last 18 months or so, maybe 2 years now. And I appreciate all of the feedback and the learnings as we've worked to innovate and build some awesome products for this community, and we'll continue to. My background, though, is grew up in Seattle, have a young family, now kids of 8, 5, and 2, and built a startup out of college. Classic thing to do back in 2000. Grew it successfully. Built another company to 2,700 employees, and we took it public 7 or 8 years ago, and then started Porch 6 years ago. And for me, what this was about, what Porch is about, is like so many entrepreneurs, is about solving a personal problem. I was in the process of building a home, and it's just a pain, the whole thing. And you start to dig in. And dealing with maintaining your home, and dealing with moving into your home, and dealing with this, thing that goes wrong. I'm not a person. You guys have no idea how much more you know about the home than I actually do, which is kind of funny given I started Porch as a company. But you would blow me away in terms of, how do you bleed your hot water heater, or what's the right way to, how frequently do you need to clean your dryer vent, or whatever it might be. These are all things that I've learned because I'm actually not that handy of a person, as it turns out. My wife would attest to. And so as I was going through this process, learning, as it turns out, most people are like that, especially younger people. They really have no idea what to do with their homes, when they're supposed to be doing certain things. And through that whole journey, Porch was born. And so for us, what this is about, what Porch is about, is building a company that can solve that problem. What we talk about is building the partner for the home. What does that mean? That means working with homeowners at the very start of their journey, right when they're going to be buying that home, making that whole process easy as they move into their home, and not just leaving them there, but on an ongoing basis, making that rest of the journey, everything that they do, with that home, making it easy at the end of the day. We're at I would say the first mile of this marathon, candidly. Like, we built a pretty cool company so far. We're 800 people across our company right now. We've grown very quickly. We've doubled year over year the last couple of years. There's all kinds of cool things. But really, we're at the beginning of the journey in my mind, because we have not certainly fixed this problem yet. But if you play this whole thing forward, and I think hopefully we would agree, if you look forward, the way that we work with homeowners will change. The way that people live in their homes will change. The world is changing so fast around us. I certainly see that in my world with technology. There's so much innovation just broadly that if you look forward even 3 years, certainly 5 years, the world is going to be dramatically different. And the way that people take care of their homes will be dramatically different. And so for me, the way I think about that is either I can be in the middle of that, helping to innovate and helping to drive that change, or it's just going to happen. It's going to happen to me. It's going to happen to the industry. And I think that's certainly the case here in the inspection world, the inspection industry. This world, it certainly is going to change. There is going to be massive amounts of innovation to make this experience better for the consumer, better for the homeowner. And at the end of the day, if you look back in time, what ends up winning is what's best for that end customer. Everything gravitates to what is best for that end customer. And so that's what we focus on at Porch, being the partner of the home to help them through that journey. And we are deeply sincere about that being at the core of what we're trying to do. Over time, we launched a little more than 5 years ago. I started the company 6 years ago. We've been honored to have lots of relationships with various companies. Yesterday, Dana asked how many people in that room had used Porch. About half the people, had raised their hands. That's awesome. I am humbled to be able to work with your business and to be able to hopefully help you grow your business, differentiate, win agent relationships, help your customers. First and foremost. These are other companies that we work with where we power services. So at the very beginning of our journey, we were selected by Lowe's. They did a very large search. They talked to 60 companies in and around our space and selected us because we do certain things very, very unique to be able to power services for all different kinds of services across all 1,700 Lowe's stores. So everything from helping consumers get a painter to a plumber to an electrician to a handyman to a landscaper, all these different types of services that people might need. We've powered that for years with Lowe's. And we expanded that from there. So Walmart.com, if you go and you buy a TV or a basketball hoop or things like that, consumers don't want to get a ladder out and put a basketball hoop up on their garage. What do you know? And so Walmart now is selling services, and we power all of that behind the scenes. Pottery Barn, Williams-Sonoma, West Elm, Overstock, Bed Bath Beyond, cool partnership with Facebook. We power all of the home service cost searches for Bing. So we've been able to be very successful, and it's a big part of our strategy. The reason I mention it, a big part of our philosophy as a company is to win through partnership. Is to be able to build products and solutions that we can work with partners, with strategic partners, to be able to help their business and to be able to help Porch grow and to be able to help the consumer at the end of the day. It's about all three of those parties, having the right solutions to be able to win. And we've been able to do that really successfully. And I think it comes back to the core and the heart of the company, which is to be able to try to innovate, but to be able to find win-win solutions for everybody. And so I want to mention that because it certainly applies here. That is at the core, what our goal is. So give or take 18 months ago, we had acquired a company called Homeowners Network. Kevin O'Malley was part of that company, and that really entered us into the inspection industry. And before that, I looked at how to help home buyers, and we'd done lots of things with real estate, agents and brokerages, and trying to figure out the right way to be able to meet those people at the very beginning of their journey so we could help them. It's super hard working with real estate agents. I empathize, actually, with you all that have to go and do that every single day. Extremely difficult to be able to do that well. We came upon, really Kevin and Homeowners Network. We had a partnership with them, and it was very clear, okay, this is a place that we can go and be able to build deep products, deep solutions, and be able to invest for a long period of time to be able to help our business grow and to be able to help an industry. And so we acquired that company, had a deep relationship with ISN, and have really, built some really cool things from there. A year ago, a little more than that, maybe 14 months ago, when we started a relationship with ISN, one of the things we had communicated was we will be committed to be able to providing more resources. And so we have doubled, the number of engineers with the ISN team. And I will talk about some of the exciting things that team has been able to build over this last year today. We've got some pretty cool announcements that we will share, and I'll be able to even lead and talk about where we're going, as a company. The first thing that we had done is we had rolled out a product, our product called the Home Assistant. And so that was what half the room, give or take, is probably using. It's a product that's really built to be able to help the homeowners as they go through that journey, where we provide them a personal home assistant. And the adoption there has grown really quickly. I told you that it was good when we first started in the industry and that consumers really like it. And as it turns out, it really is. And so right now we work with over 10% of all people who are buying homes across the country. They're given a Porch Home Assistant from their inspector at the beginning of their journey. So the adoption has been very rapid. That's 500,000 people over the course of a year, give or take, that are moving are getting a Porch Home Assistant from their inspector. We work with them right after that inspection. If they don't want our help, by the way, we'll send them an email if they don't want the help. We will never talk to them, and that's perfectly fine. It happens a small set of the time, less than 5% of the time, but it happens. People don't want to help, no problem at all. If they do, we're going to help them with whatever they need, and I'll talk more about that, from getting their utilities set up and helping them learn what they need to do because it's complicated for them, to maybe getting the TV set up for the first weekend movie. Really, whatever they need, they now have a home assistant, and we'll talk more about that right now. What is it? So think about the Home Assistant as a communication and technology product which is backed by people. We have 200 Home Assistants in our team right now. So those 800 people that are part of our company, 200 of those are actual Home Assistants who work with homeowners, and their job is to delight that homeowner at the end of the day. And we'll work with them with the move, and we'll work with them on an ongoing basis. We have a version of the Home Assistant which is called Home Assistant Gold, which gives a deeper level of service, deeper level of support, helps them with the move. It typically costs $350 a year, And what we've done with the inspection industry is we've provided that to you to be able to give to your customer for free forever. Okay, so it's something you can give to them just for using your service, and it's free. In addition to that, as we got feedback, more than a year ago on the industry, we got color from you that, hey, a little more value would be great. And so we put in, you also can give them $100 of handyman services. So one thing that Porch does in terms of how we deliver service, we help people with all 1,100 different types of services in their home all across the country. We have 300,000 active professionals, active contractors that we work with on our platform that we help homeowners get connected to. So a very, very, very large set of contractors that we work with. Sometimes what we learned actually over time, is that when we make an introduction of a consumer to a contractor, for medium and large projects, that's largely what homeowners want. They want to meet multiple people. They want to get multiple quotes. They want to be able to compare, and we will give them as many different contractors as they would like. What we learned several years ago, though, is for smaller projects, these are actually the things that people do most frequently. They don't want 3 handymen giving them quotes for mounting your TV, which might cost $100. They want to know what the price is. They want to be able to say, I want it done tomorrow at 2 p.m., and they want it to happen, really well every single time. And so what we have done is we have actually become the pro. So Porch is now one of, probably actually at this point, the largest professionals in the country. And where we deliver service is all the things that contractors typically don't like to deliver, which is the really small services, that consumers do frequently. So the reason we can provide $100 of handyman services is that we are the handyman. We set the price. They tell us when the date and time they want us to be there, and then we manage all of that process from an end to end. We're letting them know when the contractor is going to be 15 minutes late. We're letting them know, afterwards. We check in to make sure that there's a review collected every single time. Which, by the way, when we are the pro, it's a 9.4 out of 10 customer satisfaction experience. Really, really high in terms of what we can deliver across a very large number of jobs. So we can delight those customers. You provide them $100 of handyman services, they can use that to mount that TV for their first weekend movie or fix this little thing that they need to coming off your report, and we will be able to deliver that service for them. And that's something that you can just give them just for using your service. So now paying you the $400 for your inspection, you can give them Home Assistant Gold, $350 a year that they get for free forever. You can give them $100 of handyman services as well. Pretty cool. We continue to listen in terms of what you guys wanted and how we could help. So one of the things that we do is when we will follow up with that consumer, the very first thing we ask them about is how the review went, or how the inspection went, and get a review for you. Some of the things that we got feedback, and by the way, if you already use one of the great review services, there's several, we won't include that. It's all customizable. We can just turn it off. No problem at all. But if you don't today, if you're not using a review service, you should have someone else, a third party, ask your customers how the experience was. Because if it's a bad review, if it's 1 or 2 stars, we're going to escalate that to you right away. We'll let you know so you can follow up with that customer before they go and post something on Yelp, or Google or whatever it might be. That's the worst thing you can do in this day and age, is to be able to get bad reviews. We can get ahead of that for you. And if it's a 5-star review, we're going to be able to steer them to make sure that review gets posted. So obviously that's the best thing you can do, is make sure your happy customers post more reviews. That's something we just provide, for you for free. Lastly, we're really focused on helping you grow your business. And so we'll provide collateral to you that you can use in your presentations to your agents. And there's more things that we'll talk about today that we're doing to be able to help you grow your business. But that's certainly part of what we do here. And then there's more. So when we first started, we thought, boy, that was really compelling. It needed to be more compelling. And so we clearly heard feedback in terms of how we can make sure this is a no-brainer. Dan mentioned that at the beginning. It's something I fundamentally believe in, which is in order to scale, in order to build something really meaningful where you can make a dent in the world, it has to be compelling enough that it just makes sense for everybody. Like, why would somebody not want to do it at the end of the day? And that's what we try to do. That's what I try to do. It's a core philosophy. So in addition to those products I just mentioned, what we do is we create value on the back of that if the consumer needs help. Obviously, if they don't, we don't create any value, but if we can deliver help for them, we will get paid at the end of the day. There's many services we provide to the consumer that we don't make money on. Obviously, when we help them get their utilities set up, which is a very common thing that we'll do for people, we don't get paid on that. Or if we help them with change of address, to get their address moved over. We don't get paid on stuff like that. In fact, that costs us a little bit of money. But there's other services that they need us to mount their TV for that first weekend movie. We'll get paid. When at the end of the day, we'll generate revenue and margin from that. And so we want to provide value back to the inspector that introduced us to that homeowner. And so what we've done is we've offered a variety of benefits. Those that are using Porch right now have probably chosen the benefit that makes sense. Nathan and I had worked together on the one that's there on the top, which is with RWS or ISG, whichever is the right name to use. If you use recall check, or you want to use recall check, if you use a 90-day warranty, we can actually pay our RWS for that. So if that's the right thing for you, you sign up, you're using Porch Home Assistant, giving that to your customer, we will pay that for you. Pay for that for you, so you do not have to pay for those particular products or services. Another one is with Internachi. So they have a pretty cool product called the buyback guarantee that maybe you use. If you can choose that benefit where we will pay for the buyback guarantee for you if you're using Porch Home Assistant. You can also get an additional $100 of handyman services. ISN. So everybody's using ISN. If you're not using Porch Home Assistant right now with your customers, let's talk about that. We'll talk more about that because I would argue that it's the right thing to do for your business. And I think that the data is proving that out very clearly. But we can pay for ISN, your ISN fees. So if you want to use ISN for free, that's a benefit that we can provide. And so we let people choose. We continue to have more feedback. There might be other options in the future, but we're listening and hearing. And these are some of the benefits. There's others as well, but some of the benefits that we offer. So if you're interested afterwards, talk to folks at our booth. We can help you figure out, answer any questions about the Home Assistant, and certainly be able to point you in the right direction or get your feedback in terms of what might make sense for your business. Let's talk about how it works. So after the inspection is complete, you can turn on Porch within ISN. Very simple. Obviously, it's integrated with ISN. Given the close relationship that we have, very easy to do so. After the inspection is complete, we will send an email to the customer. If they do not want help with a Home Assistant, they can click, and we will never contact them. Assuming that they would like help, we will contact them at the end of the day. We'll ask them for a review. That's the very first thing that we do, like I mentioned. And then we help them. It's actually not that complicated at the end of the day, but we help them. So whatever they need as they go through this journey, there's a variety of services that'll be typical. We'll help them. In addition, though, one thing we're focused on is helping you to stay in touch with that customer forever. So when you make that introduction, you are forever linked to that customer. And if they need an inspection in the future, and the Home Assistant will check in with them in that 11th month to talk about that annual inspection, we will just refer them back to you. There is no cost for that. There never will be cost for that. That's your customer that you introduced. You'll be linked to that customer forever. They will never go to another inspector through us or anything like that. That again, that is your customer. And so part of what we're doing, and part of what we'll talk about today, is finding more and more ways to be able to drive more business to you. I mentioned one of these stats that we're working with 500,000 home buyers right now through inspectors. 1.7. So that's the number of services on average, that home buyers will use their Home Assistant for. So they use it. The data is very clear that it's something that makes it easier for them, and many of those are actually free. We don't get paid for those. The most common is helping them with their utilities. That's fine for us. It really is fine because it's something that if we delight them, if we do a really good job, if we deliver that 9.4 out of 10 customer satisfaction experience, if we continue to do what we're doing right now on that, they will use us in the future. That's certainly a bet that we're willing to make, and that certainly appears to be true based on how we're growing. Here's some collateral just to give you an example of what we can give, what we can put in your hands to be able to improve your presentations to your agents. So again, part of our focus with this product and part of our continued focus as a company is going to be able to help you grow. That is a core mission for us right now as we've gone into this industry. We know that if we provide great products and we help you grow, that's going to help everyone at the end of the day. And so we have products to talk about today, new products to talk about today that are going to help that. But we will continue to provide this type of collateral for you. If you have feedback on that, things that will make it better. I've seen different people innovating with their own unique collateral. That's fantastic. So we have a variety of things that you can put into the hands of agents as you go to your presentation. And again, try to stand out and try to differentiate to be able to win more business. So I wanted to introduce somebody today. I'm going to introduce two different people. One person right now who has been a very important team member at Porch. Matthew Blunt, if you want to come up to the stage, I'd appreciate it. Matthew is somebody who has worked on our leadership team for the last several years. Been an important part of our team at the company. He's worked very deeply to lead large set of our operations related to contractor relationships. And over these last 6 months, I've moved Matthew to take point and to lead what we are doing in the inspection industry. So he's an innovator. He's an idea guy that's able to get out in front, and I'm excited about him being able to come in and lead. Lots of really exciting things we're doing over these next several years for the inspection industry. Matthew, I would love if you could to go through. We've heard in the past consistent questions. I'd love for you to be able to take point. And then what we thought might be good to be able to wrap up this section. But we talked about the Home Assistant in the past. Many people use it in this room. We're going to move on to some of the new, cool, and exciting. Well, in my mind, I'm always forward, so new, cool, and exciting things. But I thought what might be a good idea is to ask people in the audience that use it if they could, jump in here in 5 minutes to be able to give your feedback instead of us talking about it more. Anybody that was skeptical at first and has turned on Porch Home Assistant, we'd love to take 3, 4, 5 folks that can talk to your experience just for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Much better for you to talk about it than me or Matthew. And so that'll be the plan here over the next few minutes. So if you can talk first about the frequently asked questions, then we'll go there. That'd be great.
Thank you. Next slide. You could. It's over here.
It's not verbal, unfortunately.
It's not working.
Yeah. It's not Alexa.
Next slide, please, Alexa. Oh, no. I gave away the answer. So my name is Matthew Blunt. Nice to meet you guys. As Matt said, we have had some consistent questions that we'd like to go through. Some of them might be pretty easy, but some of them I actually do take very seriously because they're actually really serious questions. And I want to make sure you know what the answer is from us. So first question, can someone read it for me? Okay, is my data being automatically sold and or shared? What's the answer? What do you think the answer is? Okay, now, might be simple, and I appreciate the laughing and the lightheartedness of this. However, it's a really serious question. I would want to know that too, and I completely understand why this question is asked, and I just want to be super clear. No, we do not sell your data. It is your data. As Matt said, we'll call the customer, and we will try and help them because you will be setting that expectation for them, and we'll change their utilities and help them move. We will not be selling your data.
Would you imagine what Lowe's or Walmart or Pottery Barn would do if we were selling the customer data? That would not go over well at the end of the day. And so clearly we've had to build a business where that is not the core intent of our business and not what we're doing.
All right, next one. Volunteer to read. I think Matt gave away this answer. He kind of stole my thunder a little bit. What's the answer? No. Again, you're attached to the client forever. It's your client, not ours. So it is the reason why we are able to contact this customer is because of you. That is your customer. Okay, what's the answer? No. Inspection leads are free. Now, we have heard feedback that if we were able to deliver you booked jobs, booked inspections, that would be valuable. That's something that we absolutely want to pursue. A lead is not a booked job. A lead is a prospect, as you know, that you'd have to get in contact with and sell your services to, all the stuff that you know, most of you, if not all of you know. The leads are free. So if we have a homeowner that comes to Porch and is looking for an inspector and you are partnered with us, we will make a profile for you. We will send that lead to you. We're making some enhancements to that process very soon, thanks to feedback from many of you who are using us. Stacy Rose on our team has been driving those enhancements, but it is free. The leads will be free for you. Make sense? Yes. Sweet. Last question, I think. Volunteer. Another fair question. What's the answer? Okay, these are leading questions. So no, Porch professionals will not create more risk for you. We work with a lot of professionals across the country. We communicate with them. I know it's a common thing, or it has come up, where it's finger pointing. I believe is where this comes from, and at Porch we do not point fingers, and so it's not something that you should expect from us. Fair? Okay. So Matt mentioned that we want to hear from inspectors. I do one more time, show of hands for inspectors, inspection companies who are working with Porch today. And if you could say your name and your company name and where you're from first, that'd be ideal.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Pam with Inspect It Like a Girl. I got involved because I love Kevin O'Malley, wherever he is.
Right behind you.
And I love Dan, and I trust them. So we are in a very small market, Jackson, Mississippi. If it's going to work anywhere, if it works in Jackson, it'll work in your market, I promise. We're just past indoor plumbing. So seriously, in some places we're just past indoor plumbing. We got involved. We've got the collateral. I have a fabulous woman here who answers our phone. She tees it up ahead of time. Our inspectors, when then they're in the field, they talk about it. My realtors love it. They just think it's fantastic because we've solved a problem for them. And I'm so excited about the other things that are coming out. But if you want to talk to me about how we've done that, I think we're seeing a great success. And Josie just told me we're getting reviews like crazy, 5-star reviews. And not only on our company, but on Porch. And one of the things I tell my clients every time I do an inspection, if you have a problem with any of these folks, you let me know, because I'll drop them like a pancake. I want to take care of you. I want to make sure you're taken care of. So that's been our experience. Thanks.
Thank you, Pam. Nice to meet you, by the way.
So we've been using Porch, I believe, for a little bit more than a year now. And I was one of the people who was skeptical at first because we have partnered with other companies in the past. And as we all know in this industry, reputation is super important. And so when you're choosing a partner that's going to be reaching out to your clients after the inspection, you want to make sure that they're going to uphold your reputation and not turn some of your clients or some of your realtors away from you. And so that was one of my reservations when we first joined the Porch program. And we've had the exact opposite. The home assistants have been extremely professional, very clear with the clients. The whole process has been seamless for us. As was mentioned, all the realtors love the product. The one hint that I'll give everybody in the room, and it was also touched on, is you have to make sure the clients are knowing what is going to happen in the process. So when we book an inspection over the phone, we tell the client what they're getting with Porch. We tee up that reach out that's going to happen in a couple days. Every email that goes out to that client after the inspection is booked has Porch information on it. When our inspectors are out in the field, we talk about Porch to the client in the field. So we have about 5 or 6 different touch points throughout the entire inspection process to make sure the clients are fully informed as far as what the process is going to be like. And as mentioned, the nice thing about Porch too is we do have, especially in our area in Florida, we have a lot of people coming down to retire and they don't want to be contacted by anybody. And so it's very clear that Porch will not reach out to them, and they've respected that relationship as well. So I would definitely recommend, taking more of a dive into the program, talking to some of the inspectors who have experience, and know that they do actually care about the industry and our best interests. And if you have the opportunity to, Seattle by itself is a cool city, but go and visit the Porch headquarters and see their team in person working, and you'll be amazed as far as what they're actually trying to do in innovating our industry.
I appreciate that. I just want to double down on one thing. If you are ever in Seattle, we would love to host you. Our building is literally, truly. We're just south of the stadiums, near downtown. We would love to host you if you're in Seattle. Love to have you meet some of the team, see the office. We're just constantly learning, and I hope it comes through. It's hard probably to get a feel for someone when they're up on stage, but the no jerks, no ego sign up on our wall at our office is true. It's real. Like, we believe you can build a great company and do that in a good way, and be good humans at the end of the day. So we promise that we will constantly be listening and learning. If you have feedback, please tell us, because we will just make things better, and we'll continue to invest in this. But I appreciate that. And yeah, if you're around, please come visit us.
Scott Johnson, Director of Operations at Win Home Inspection Home Office. When Porch first, the ISN Porch thing came around, we have about 150 business owners that their first reaction was, what we've been burned in the past, why would we even want to consider doing anything? No way. And so, of course, we as the home office listened to that and said, let's be curious instead of cautious and concerned. And so we piloted with 20 of our strategic partners a program with Porch to say, okay, what is this? Is this really going to provide value to our network and to their clients? And we piloted again with 20 folks. And after the pilot, as we were going through the pilot, one of the things that we saw happening was that as the basically business owners, agents were hearing about it, they were asking if, well, can I participate in Porch too? Because this is great for the clients, but I moved too. I need these services because I don't have time. And then as it kind of the rumor mill worked in our network, we had people saying, well, can I be a part of the pilot? Can I be a part of the pilot? When all was said and done in the pilot, of the 20 people, we had 5 people that signed up for the pilot that said, I'm signing up for the pilot because I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to show you that Porch is a scam, that they're going to be selling my client data, and we actually kept them in the pilot because if they were right, we weren't going to go with Porch. And we were able to prove them wrong. And we actually have rolled out Porch to our entire network. And one of the things we also noticed out of the pilot was that, again, it was mentioned before, when you set expectations with the clients, when they get what is delivered to them based on your expectation setting, that gets back to the agents. Then the agents will start using more. We've had people that have seen over a 10% increase in their business because of the Porch offering. And what we've also seen is when you set that expectation, we use ACC. And when we set that expectation with our folks that are using ACC, within months, their inspection counts increased over 10%. And we had a couple of cases where we had one SP that they had 5 reviews over about a 3-year period, and now they're sitting at about 120 5-star reviews. And because they tied out Porch and ACC, and also a shout out to ISG. We have a lot of folks using ISG services, and by tying all those together, it's been a great experience for the clients. They have had a delightful experience with the home assistants, and it's been a great message to the agents as well, because they see the value that how you're helping de-stress their clients at a part of that transaction.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A couple points I wanted to hit on from last few that chose to speak. Thank you, by the way. First was the pilot. I'll start here. So it's something we can do as well. If you want to test out Porch, we can absolutely turn it on, and if something happens and you don't want it, we can turn it back off. We're confident that it will go well, and the results that the Win team saw will that you'll see too. A second was Austin mentioned it. I believe Scott did too. Using the collateral, we will print the collateral that Matt showed. We print that. I see. Could you hold one up really quick? Yeah. So we showed some images of it, but we brand it with your logo. We print it. We work with you to customize it based on the services that you offer. So if you offer ISG, we'll put it in there as an example, and we will print it off. We will send that to you, box of hundreds of them to you, and like actual hundreds of them. It's really heavy boxes. And you can give those out to your customers, or your inspectors can give those to customers and agents. And I believe that that is a really important part of this whole process, is you positioning it to your customers and agents and giving them the collateral at multiple touch points along the way, so that everyone knows what's happening. Is if you've set the expectation, it's going to be a delightful experience. If you don't, that's what could make it not a delightful experience. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
For more information on the Porch opportunity, call 253-263-7045.